What up, YouTube? You already know Big Lou, the Latin assassin himself. Tapping back in one more again. What it do with Big Lou and FZR2, baby. So this is gonna be a video, as you guys can tell from that thumbnail. Junior welterweights fighting tonight for a title. This is 140 pounds. So you'll hear the word either you'll hear junior welterweight 140. You got the WBO champ, the current champ, WBO ring champ, Josh Taylor. I believe he's also considered the lineal champ, because at one point he was undisputed. So he ended up letting the belts go for whatever reason. A lot of people are not aware, but when these guys have all these belts, they have to pay on all these belts. So if you have four belts, and I don't know what it is. It's a pretty penny though. It ain't nothing like peanuts. It's something like 20, 30, 40 grand a belt. So if you got four belts, you're paying close to $200,000 on those belts. You know what I mean? So Josh Taylor's 19-0 with 13 KOs. He's the current, like I said, WBO champ, and he's going up against Teofimo Lopez, who is 18-1 with 13 knockouts. Like I said, Josh Taylor was previously the undisputed champ at 140. For whatever reasons, he decided to vacate three of the belts. I know Regis Portress has the WBC. Rolly Romero now has a WBA, and I'm not sure who has the IBF right now off the top of my head. Teofimo Lopez was the lightweight, the IBF originally. Then he fought Lomachenko, and he took Lomachenko's WBA and WBO titles. And he vacated the WBC, and that's why they call Devin Haney at the time the email champ. That's why they say that Teofimo got burned and he should have been undisputed. So nonetheless, he's held three titles, and now he's looking to become a two-division world champion and add a fourth belt to his resume. The other big fight is Xander Zayas, who is 15-0 with 10 KOs. Fellow Boricua. He's taking Ronald Cruz, who's 18-2-1 with 12 knockouts. And this is a junior middleweight 8-round fight. So you'll hear it either be called junior middleweight or super welterweight, and that both means 154 pounds. Let's see what's going on here. So, like I said, they square off tonight. For the WBO junior welterweight title at the Line at Hulu Theater in New York. Let's see. I'm gonna read what they say here about these guys. So this is by CBS Sports. Taylor versus Teofimo Lopez Jr. Fight prediction, odds, start time, undercard preview, expert picks, blah blah blah. Just 2 years ago, the idea of a clash between Josh Taylor, the then undisputed junior welterweight champ, and Teofimo Lopez, then the unified lightweight champion, would have had the boxing world buzzing. The two now clash on Saturday night with only one world title on the line, both men seeing their stock dip after recent outings. Taylor, 19-0 with 13 KOs, will be defending his WBO junior welterweight title when the pairs meet in the Hulu Theater at Madison Square Garden in New York City. He has forfeited or been stripped of the three other world titles he held after refusing mandatory title defenses, all in the wake of a disastrous fight against Jack Catterall in February 2022. The fight with Catterall was Taylor's first defense of his undisputed title after unifying the WBO, WBA, WBC, and IBF titles with a win over Jose Ramirez. After struggling with the weight cut, Taylor looked flat while also struggling with his cardio. Most observers felt Catterall had did enough to win the fight, but Taylor escaped with a split decision victory while defiantly claiming there was no need for a rematch because he felt that he won clearly. He means what he says, and I mean what I say. There is a genuine dislike there. He's been disrespectful, Taylor said at the press conference. I'm going to make him pay for his words on Saturday. I can't wait to get in there. You'll see Josh Taylor win, especially possibly by KO and nice and early as well. I know he's a good fighter. The version that beat Lomachenko is a very good fighter. That's the version I'm preparing for. It's all about your preparation. I'm prepared diligently and to the best of my ability. You'll see the best of me on Saturday night. That's all from Josh Taylor. During the same period, Taylor was facing his struggles. Lopez, 18-1 with 13 KOs, saw his own empire crumbling after defeating Lomachenko in October of 2020 to unify the IBF, WBA, and WBO lightweight world titles. Lopez was on top of the boxing world. Um, First defense of Lopez's status as unified champion came against lightly regarded George Kambosos Jr. The Aussie got in Lopez's head before the two men ever stepped in the ring, dropped Lopez in the first round, and took a clear decision victory in a shocking upset. Lopez did not handle the loss well, claiming there was a conspiracy to take a deserved win despite the logic of conspiring against a young champion with years of promotional weight behind him in a favor of a fighter only known by hardcore boxing fans being outside any version of reality. Lopez also claimed he entered the ring with a tear in his esophagus that could have killed him during the bout. I'm excited about this. This is like a dream come true, Lopez said. What more can you really shoot for? Nobody knows why. Maybe because he beat everyone already. But I'm here. I'm here to come in there and take everything that he got. Lopez followed up the loss to Kambosos by moving up to junior welterweight and scoring wins over Pedro Campa and Sandor Martin. Lopez was dropped by Martin in their fight and barely edged out a split decision win before being caught on camera asking his team, "Do I still got it?" Unsurprisingly, Lopez later tried to flip the candid moment into an intentional attempt to either trick the media or bait big name fighters into coming after him. It was yet another in an increasing number of situations that call Lopez's mental state into question. Since the Kambosos fight, Lopez fight Since the Cambosos fight, Lopez's behavior has become increasingly strange while dealing with flat performances in the ring and increasingly volatile situations involving his family and wife. Taylor has been trying to worm his way into Lopez's mind ahead of the fight, walking out on interviews, making little digs while Lopez has unapologetically repeated his desire to kill Taylor in the ring, a taboo subject in the world of boxing where death is an ever-present risk. What is the what is the takeover if he doesn't take over the guys that are the kingpins of the division? So when it comes to Josh Taylor and junior welterweights, he is the guy. Lopez said, "That's the guy that you have to beat to be the greatest. That's what we aim for all the time. I worked my ass off, 11 weeks of camp. This is going to be the best version of me. Practice makes improvement. We're improved since last fight. We're ready to put on a show, and I'm going to be a two-time lineal world champion. I hope he looks better than the last fight because honestly, um, I believe Sandor Martin did enough to win. If you guys don't know, Sandor Martin is the one that's responsible for retiring Mikey Garcia. Mikey Garcia got beat by Earl Spence and then followed it up. I believe his next fight was against Sandor Martinez. Nonetheless, Sandor Martin was the last one he fought, and he's never stepped in the ring again. Um, But Lopez, he did, if he had that tear in his esophagus, that's something serious. But, at the same time, if that's really what you had and you knew it entering that fight, you should have had the fight called off and push back for a little bit. Why are you going to go in there, a unified champ holding all these belts and risking getting beat up or not so much getting beat up, but, having problems with your health? It's not that serious for you to take that chance like that. You could have easily put the fight off and with proof of the injury what's going on, another month or two or whatever, and just reschedule it for another month, another fight date. That's just bullshit in my opinion. Because you got in the ring, you shouldn't have got in the ring then. With the mix of personalities and the need for in-ring redemption for both supremely talented fighters, Saturday night promises to be a fascinating fight that will say much about where both men stand in the sport. The undercard sees the return of Herald prospect Xander Zayas when he takes on Ronald Cruz at junior middleweight. Zayas is still building himself up as a pro at just 20 years old. He scores 3 wins in 2022 with 1 TKO. Saturday marks his first fight of 2023 against an opponent coming off a loss and a draw in his most recent appearances. This is the first time that I will fight during Puerto Rican Parade weekend. I'm excited for this one. Zaya said it's awesome to see all these different cultures come together and bring an excellent show to Madison Square Garden and to New York. I'm ready to put on a show for all of my Puerto Rican fans Saturday night. Let's take a closer look at the. Okay, never mind. So let's see the odds. Taylor's a negative 200. Teofimo Lopez is a plus 170. Um, Omar Rosario is also fighting John Carlos Rivera, also junior middleweights, 154. Let's see, prediction. There's nothing but negatives following Taylor into his bout. He's dropped 3 of his titles along with undisputed status of his own volition, and most recent outing left a ton to be desired while he also struggled to make weight. Still, the bulk of his preview has been about Lopez because the issues he has been dealing with are that bad. And I think he weighed in yesterday at only 132 or 133. So he's like 7 or 8 pounds underweight. That division is 140. The above preview barely touches on many of the darker issues in Lopez's life, from currently going through what appears to be an ugly divorce, complete with custody issues, to his claims that Top Rank and ESPN favor black fighters over him, to transitioning from defending his stated desire to kill Taylor to telling ESPN he low-key wants to die during a particularly unhinged interview. Lopez, already prone to extreme emotions, has seemed positively off the rails since the Cambosos fight, and it is clearly affecting him in the ring. Wow. Taylor is big, strong, and mean. He has also proven his skills against some truly elite fighters, including Regis Porteous, who he beat, who is also the current WBC champ in that division. Jose Ramirez, who held 2 belts at the time, 2 or 3 belts when he lost to Josh Taylor, and Cantarell. Yes, he stumbled before and during the Cantarell fight, but he should have learned and grown from it. One of the most important skills of a great boxer is the ability to adapt and grow from tough moments. Lopez, despite having otherworldly athleticism and true boxing skills, has done the opposite, sliding further and further into conspiracies and dark thoughts while surrounding himself with the same seemingly toxic environment. He absolutely can defeat Taylor, but it feels unlikely he will. Taylor is too good for the version of Lopez that showed up against Cambosos and Martin, and there's no reason to think any other version of Lopez will be in the ring come Saturday night. Pick Taylor via TKO 8th round. That's what the CBS writer got here. Um, I will say this, and when it comes to, and I'm kind of big on this when it comes to some of these fighters. I believe that them being trained by their dads, and this goes for Felix Trinidad. Well, Felix Trinidad's dad was an actual boxer, um, but I believe that at some point when Trinidad, this is the thing when it came to Trinidad. After he fought Bernard Hopkins, I don't think. Well, yeah, he fought Winky Wright for a title. I believe that was for a title at 154, and then that was it. He never had another title shot. You're talking about a 3-weight division champion, world champion, who held 5 titles in his career. What happened there? Like, I don't get it. I don't know if his father hurt him. I don't really believe his dad hurt him because, like I said, his dad was a real fighter. Most of these dudes that train their kids are not fighters. It's, Floyd Mayweather Sr., yes. Roger Mayweather, yes. Freddie Roach, yes, but he don't train a kid of his. You know what I'm saying? But I believe I believe Trinidad, maybe they could have brought somebody else in to help. But I don't believe he's so much on this scale. I'm talking about Miguel Cotto with his uncle, and I'm talking about even Danny Garcia with his dad. But Danny's so loyal to his dad, he won't do that. You know what I'm saying? Will these guys be willing to work with somebody else at the same time as training their sons? That's the thing. Kenny Porter, Robert Guerrero, Jose Benavidez Sr. with, David and Jose Jr. David's on track. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe there's no issues there yet. But I think when it comes to Jose Jr., maybe they could have brought somebody else in to help out with some different skills. Who's another one? There's quite a few guys that their fathers train them, or uncle or somebody that Roy Jones, he had to step away from his dad. Who knows what would have happened if he didn't? You know what I'm saying? And it's going to cause a rift between you and your pops. That's for sure. And that's why I think people like Danny Garcia, certain guys won't touch that because they don't want to hurt their pops' feelings. But that's the thing, though. You say I'm a trainer, I'm his trainer, I'm his head trainer, I'm not dad. Da, da, da. So when it comes to that, you shouldn't let your dad's feelings get involved with that. That's just my opinion. You know what I'm saying? But I think that and Teofimo's father, he's always in the mix talking shit. He's kind of like Angel Garcia, fucking Robert Guerrero, Floyd Mayweather a little bit. Sometimes they take shit overboard, and not to mention these guys don't even have that many fights. That's what I can't get over, how some of these guys got titles so early in their careers. And then when they do lose, it's like, oh, and like with Teofimo, it kind of fucked him up. And he's going through so much shit with his personal life that he's letting it get the better of him. When this kid got legitimate skills, we know it. You know, uh, so this is just a little video about what's happening with that. Um, Also, I'll be touching a video on Rolly Romero, now the current WBA Super Junior Welterweight champ, and him calling out Ryan Garcia and people talking shit about that, which makes no sense to me. I mean, unless Ryan and Rolly got something going where they're behind the scenes on something. But if Rolly says he wants Ryan Garcia and he's talking shit about Ryan Garcia, what the fuck does that got to do? How does that? Because they're making it sound like, oh yeah, Ryan would take that fight because he can't beat any other champions. Well, yeah, no, he couldn't beat Tank. You know what I'm saying? But that means what? That he's just not supposed to. Somebody calls him out with the belt or not. He's supposed to be like, well, I couldn't beat Tank, so you're probably the weakest champion at that division with that belt, so I'm gonna have to pass. Ah, man, that's not how. Come on, that sounds ridiculous for somebody to even say something like that. You know what I'm saying? It just shows people's mentality and their brains and where they're at. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I'm hoping to catch the fight tonight. I don't know if I will or not. There's also some UFC going on tonight. I might drop a video on that. I might not because it's not a UFC number. I believe it's like UFC Las Vegas or something like that. But Charles Oliveira is fighting. I can't even think of the dude's name right now. I don't know who else is on that card, but we do have a big card coming up soon where it's Gagey Portier fighting. Tony Ferguson's on there. There's a lot of guys on that card. I can't think of everybody right now, but there's like about 5 or 6 big names on that card coming up. Like I said, Ferguson, um, uh, Gagey, um, Portier. There's a lot. I'll figure it out. I think Derek Lewis is on there. Jan Blachowicz is fighting. What's the name? Pareda. That's gonna be a good one. I think Jan's gonna fucking blast him though. I think he's gonna manhandle him and dirty him up like he did. What's his name? Izzy. You know what I mean? So with that being said, I'm gone. Big Luke tapping out.